Hey, this is Stu with the Military Investor Network, and today we are talking with Johnny Quilenderino. And Johnny has completely motivated me to go buy more real estate. Johnny has bought 27 units in around 7 months, and so this video is just a little bit of a motivation for everyone. He's going to kind of tell his story and hopefully it'll motivate you guys to get out there and do deals and buy real estate. So, Johnny, man, thanks for being here
Appreciate
and
it.
welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. So you bought 27 units in around 7 months. That's pretty impressive. And I know that it's not all like one apartment complex at 27 units. I know it's kind of broken down. So I guess tell us like just how you got started, what was the motivation behind it all, and just kind of love to hear kind of the breakdown of your properties and anything creative you did or kind of just give us the details of how it all went down.
Yeah. So how we got started is my wife and I were looking at our exit strategy from the military and who was going to get out first because we're both dual military. And I said I would get out first, but before I would get out, I would make at least my paycheck. And then after about 6 months into all the deals, she's like, look, you've already made your paycheck. Now you got to make both of our paychecks. So
Nice.
the goal now is the ultimate goal is to make both of our paychecks and expand out. And what I mean by expand out is help others. So I will
Cool.
do that later.
I love
Uh,
it.
so the company's Q Squared Rentals and Flips. We bought our first two properties from one guy. It was a package deal that I found on Zillow, and everything that I used, I found on Zillow, or everything I bought, I found on Zillow. Everybody hates Zillow for their estimates. Absolutely understood about that. But for projects and for multifamily, it's been my best asset.
So when you say on Zillow, so are they all listed on the MLS and then
Yes, they're
uh,
actually listed on MLS, and they were listed on MLS and listed on Realtor.com, but you just couldn't find them correctly if you didn't do the proper search.
okay. And so you say the proper search, kind of tell us what that's all about.
So in Zillow, it actually breaks things down into multifamily. And what I was doing was I did a whole bunch of searches and figured out that Zillow's app on the Android doesn't break it down, doesn't allow you to see all the multifamilies until you do certain aspects of it. And like a keyword search, if you put in the full multifamily, it won't show up. None of them will show up. But if you do multi-tac family, it actually shows up, and all of them will show up.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that was my foot in the door, is actually understanding the ins and outs of the app that I was using, so I can actually buy my properties, or find and buy my properties.
So you're probably seeing properties that not many other people knew about, you know, unless they had, a realtor just on the MLS sending them properties every day because of that little glitch. And you found that you're finding properties that probably other people aren't seeing. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Cool, man. Okay. So your first one was a package deal.
Yeah, it was a package deal. I was actually crawling under a different house, and while we were crawling under it, we couldn't get to the back of it. So for me, one of my criteria is I need to see both upstairs, living space, and then I need to be able to get into the crawl space and look at the whole thing. Well, I couldn't from this one, so I backed out of it. Right then and there, backed out of it, turned to my realtor and said, well, I got these two as a backup. Go call this number and ask this guy about his two properties. Well, he offered me three, and I freaked out a little bit. Three properties. Wow. All I was just going for was two. And 10 minutes before this, I was only looking for one. So
Nice.
it was 3 properties for 150,000, and I would have to go get the financing, etc. I told them, give me 2 weeks,
And
and
where are these located?
these are both located in Suffolk, Virginia.
Okay.
And he said, "All right, I'll give you 2 weeks." Well, I ran around, got conventional financing for 2 out of the 3, and never could get the financing for the third one initially. When I finally got it, the seller was like, "Well, it took a little too long because it was like 2 weeks, 2 days, and he had sold his third property."
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do this deal. And I bought a 4 unit and a 3 unit, both conventional loans for 135,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
The down payment was 38,000, and those things are now the total gross income coming in monthly is 3,900, and my PITI is only 1,100.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah. So really good cash flow there.
very good cash flow. It took about 5 months to season, but once it finally seasoned, it's been beautiful.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes. Our second project was a 6 unit. I looked at it via Zillow, pretty much around the same time that we bought the other package, and then I looked at 2 other houses, or our 2 other houses that we own. So we own a total of 3 houses, single family residences, before we went into opening up the business.
And those were just houses that you had kind of bought and lived in as you're moving around the Navy.
Moving around, yeah.
Yeah.
So my wife had a house in Boston, and she said, "Hey, can you do the numbers on this house and see what it's doing?" And between taxes, insurance, everything, we were losing $400 a month. And I asked, "Hey, do you want to sell this?" And it's been a headache on her side for a while, and she said yes. I went through, talked to a QI, and said, "Hey, I would like to do a 1031 tax exchange."
Nice.
And he's like, "Absolutely. When you want to sell?" And I'm like, "Immediately." I knew the lease was up in June. May is when we bought the 4 unit and 3 unit. Knew the lease was up. I jumped on Bigger Pockets, and I got a realtor off of Bigger Pockets, and the realtor ran with it. We sold the house on the 31st of October, or of August, and bought the 6 unit that I was looking at on the 7th of September.
Wow. It's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yes. So there goes. Now we're up to 13 units, and still looking for more. Then I was.
And that 6 unit is in Suffolk as well?
No, this 6 unit's actually in Norfolk. It's a it's a 3-story building. The down payment we put down from the 1031 tax exchange was 125,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had to put all of it in.
Yeah.
1031. We could not touch the money.
Right.
And so everything went from one property right into the other. It was actually a seamless transition. And if people want to know about that later, I could talk to someone. I can talk to someone to get them to the right people later about that company and their projects and how they do their business. It's extremely efficient. I think I've had one phone conversation, and the rest of it was just via online and via, okay, this email, that email. I think there was a total of 15 emails and about 100 pages I had to read, and that was it.
Yeah.
31 done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Then in October, I contacted my bank again and said, "Hey, I have a little bit of money, and it looks like my projects in Suffolk have seasoned a little bit, 6 months of seasoning. I said, hey, can we do anything? And he gave me the go and said, go find projects. And I went and looked at a 6-unit in Norfolk again, hemmed and hawed on it, backed out of that one. And within 2 weeks, another 6-unit popped in my queue. I ran with that 6-unit. And how I bought that 6-unit is I refinanced my my package deal in Suffolk. Okay. So the package deal in Suffolk was worth $135,000 when I bought it. When I got it refinanced after doing about 20 grand worth of work to it, it came back at $255,000.
Nice.
So I took some of the money out of that and redirected it into a $320,000 6-unit. I put 80 grand down on that and I moved forward.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Within 2 days of that, I was actually moving to DC. So I was actually doing a personal loan on a duplex up in DC. So how I bought this duplex is I refinanced my other original property, which was under VA. So I took that out of the VA's hands and did a conventional loan on that. Went up to DC, sight unseen, bought this duplex and put $16,000 down total on that, on a $640,000 duplex.
And that's the one that you're living in now?
I'm living in that one now.
Renting the other side?
Living the other side.
Okay, so doing a little house hacking?
Doing a little house hacking and breaking even. So
okay. All right. And did you use a VA loan for that or just conventional?
Yeah, so zero down, 4.2, 4.3 for the interest rate, and $16,000 down.
$16,000 down.
Yep, and
okay.
that was for the VA funding fee. Actually, it wasn't actually money down; it was just to pay for the VA funding fee.
Okay, and that I'm assuming that was because it was that like the jumbo VA loan, or was it over the cap and you had to pay the difference?
Over the cap.
Oh,
the cap was 636, and we went in at 620.
Wow. Okay. Cool. All right. That's awesome, man.
And then the final project that we bought was a 5-unit. This 5-unit had a little history with me. It was in October. I walked up to it and submitted an offer and realized, submitted an offer on a 4-unit, not a 5-unit. Submitted an offer of $90K. And the realtor and the owner said, well, I have more than one owner or more than one buyer. Submit your best offer. And I told myself, I'm not going to get into a bidding war. Not right now, and not in Suffolk, and backed out. Well, after my 6-unit fell through in November and the other 6-unit picked up, I still realized I had the potential to buy something else. Well, went through it, did all my numbers, said, all right, I can handle this. I can handle this project. I submitted my offer of $65,000 and he took it. Upon inspection, it went from a 4-unit residential to a 5-unit commercial.
Oh.
So I'm using commercial loans for the business. So when I submitted my offer of $65,000, it was taken due to the fact that he probably had no other people that could take it because they're coming in with residential loans.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And so you had a commercial lender that you've used on the other ones.
Yes.
Ready at your fingertips.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Union Bank and Trust. They are ready to go whenever I say I'm ready to pull the trigger.
And say that again. What's the bank?
Union Bank and Trust.
Okay. And are they kind of a local bank in Virginia?
So it's low. They are an East Coast bank
Okay.
from Virginia all the way up to Maryland. They can lend down to South Carolina, but they don't go further west than the coastal states.
Okay. Well, and that's super important too to kind of note is creating a relationship with a bank, and if you can get local, probably the better, right?
Absolutely. My lender at that bank, Mr. Paul Buckley, he's amazing. He's done some creative things and allowed us to get pretty much where we're at right now and cash flowing where we're at right now via his vehicles of lending.
Okay. And before we started the interview, you were telling me about one of the ways you got some of your down payment was using a credit card. Tell
Yes.
me about that.
So initially, we looked at the package deal, and once we refinanced it, we're like, "Yep, we should have $80,000 to or $100,000 to play with." All right, let's do this. And that's when I submitted the two offers. I submitted an offer on the 6 unit and submitted an offer on the 5 unit. And those are going parallel along with the DC project. And DC project, I knew I was going to spend about 25,000. I'm like, all right, I have 25 in cash for that. Easy day. The 6 unit, I looked at it, said, yep, I have the 80,000 out of Mr. Buckley's refinance. And then his bank came back and said, well, we're supposed to do a year's worth of seasoning, not 6 months worth of seasoning. Okay, so can I get these projects at all? And they went to the board. They had me go and literally do a phone interview. And after the phone interview, I got the 80,000. I didn't get the 100,000, but I got some money out of the project that I bought in May.
Okay.
After that, talked to the wife. Wife is all in. She's like, yep, do what you got to do, figure it out. And we pulled from 2 credit cards and paid for the down payment on the 5 unit. It's very important to have your wife all in, because if not, then things can go sideways. And if she doesn't know what you're doing, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble in more than one ways.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, that's awesome, man. Just figuring it out, right? Just,
Yep.
Whatever you have to do to make it happen and get creative. And that's what you've done. And I mean, so, you're still active duty.
Yep.
You've done this on a military salary, both you and your wife, military salaries. So we all know that, we're not going to become millionaires just by being in the military.
No, we're not.
So in 7 months, you've purchased 27 units. And what's next? I mean, are you going to continue to do it? Are you just completely out of money now and just sitting back and so what's next?
So not out of money, definitely seasoning, because I definitely talked to Mr. Paul Buckley and said, all right, what can I do in 6 months? And in 6 months, he stated that the May project that I bought, like, well, we can pull the rest of the money out of that one. We can look at it again, see what we're cash flowing, and do a commercial appraisal on it. And a commercial appraisal is always better than a residential appraisal, because it looks at cash flow and the asset only, and not everything else.
Well, and that's important too, right? Because with commercial, you're the one that's creating more value, and what you're doing to it is increasing the value instead of just depending totally on the market.
Exactly. So we will pull money out of that and start a second or third business in Baltimore. But before that, Baltimore is our next project area for the Q Squared rentals and flips business. But before that, we're going to work with you and work with Joseph and work on a Memphis project via Trident Light. And it's a delayed gratification project. I mean, this is not for the person that wants to put money in and get money back within the year, like some other investing companies do. We are going to do all the work for you guys. We are going to not only do all the work, we're going to do all the legwork. You will do the investing, and we will find the turnkey rentals. And we're looking at B- to C+ areas in Memphis. What I like about Memphis, Memphis is doing a lot of what we call advertising of the city. And I've seen 2 projects come into Memphis now. Nike brought I think it's a 100-acre project into Memphis within the last year, which should bring in 10,000 workers. And now FedEx has decided to expand its footprint in Memphis. So I think we're going to get into Trident Light will get into Memphis at the right time, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll definitely be not only cash flowing but be ready to either 1031 this business or sell the business off to someone else to make more money, and we pay back our investors.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I know Joseph is, and I think it's gonna be super successful. So proud to be on there with you. Well, dude, this is awesome. Like I said, this is you've totally motivated me to get out and get creative and do more deals and create relationships. And I hope this video will do the same for others that are watching it. Where can people, get in touch with you? How do they, ask you more questions and figure out what you're doing?
So I am on Bigger Pockets. I am on Facebook, and haven't put a true online website together yet for the business because I'm hands off with my business. I do not do any of the property managing. So until I do that, that's when I'll actually create a website. But Bigger Pockets, absolutely. And Facebook, you can find me on Facebook. And I don't do Twitter yet. I don't know why yet. It's just, I think it was just I didn't want to be a millennial thing.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter either.
But send me a question on Bigger Pockets and I'll absolutely answer it within 72 hours.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, again, hey, thanks so much. And this is we're early morning here.
Oh yeah.
We're all awake, had our coffee, but thanks for getting on with me. And dude, congrats, and can't wait to hear more about what you're doing and partnering up with you.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Cheers. See ya.
Yep.